Hi everybody, today I'm gonna show you how to fix or repair this issue with the TDI-PD engines. This is Lupo 3L TDI, but the same is valid for all the TDI-PD equipped cars with the TDI-PD Mark 1 system. Mark 1 means that the injectors are clamped with one single metric 6mm times 64mm bolt. So after the clean up of the fuel tank, after the check of the fuel filter, everything works okay, but this happens each and every start. So maybe it's important sign that the correction values for the dose of the or for the quantity of the fuel for each cylinders were disbalanced. Engine was disbalanced. The first and second cylinder corrected the third cylinder. On the third cylinder there was a 1 milligram per 1 rotation or 1 revolution more fuel computed with the ECU for smooth idle speed. So this is the main cause, and secondary I don't even know if it has to do something with this or wasn't, but the car after the start in the cold conditions around 0 degrees Celsius, degrees centigrade, the white or white to shade shade smoke after the startup immediately was visible, even in the daylight. So I think that these are the typical symptoms of the badly mounted or worn out injector. I'm sorry for my English once more, because the technical English is a bit difficult for me, but I hope it will be better. So the mounting of the injector is bad idea from the factory with this Mark 1 systems. So injectors are moving, and this cause the leakage of the compression air or combustible air mixture into the each injector's supply line. So there are no problems with power is good, everything seems to be okay, engine runs smoothly because ECU balancing it, but starts are very bad in all conditions. So let's look at on it. So to get to the injectors, it's need to remove this plastic cover from the cylinder head, remove this hose and distribution belt cover. Wow, this absolutely hit me because this engine is a absolutely perfect condition. As you can see, there are no carbon deposits on the surfaces. Maybe there is a new motor oil. I will try to perform the droplet test of the oil, and all the car is in the absolutely perfect condition because it's imported from Italy to the Czech Republic, and there is absolutely no sign of rust anywhere. Even on the catalytic converter on the stainless steel exhaust pipe is not rusty as it used to be. Turbocharger moves absolutely freely. It's absolutely perfect car. 1A state. Look at it. Probably the best 3L Lupo in the Czech Republic. So, back to the injectors. To remove the injectors, which are 1, 2, 3 here, you should disconnect these connectors simply with the hand. First, etc. The second part is to release these M18 nuts and unscrew this bolt completely out. The second part is to remove these one. I'm sorry for that focus. I have a problem with the focus on my phone, but doesn't matter here. So unscrew these bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if I count. Yes, these 6 bolts, and finally there are 1, 2, 3 underdimensioned metric M6 screws, very long, 64 millimeter, and this I recommend, or this must be replaced with the new ones each time you remove it, because of the tensile strength is worst after the few years of operation. So I think that this cover was never opened because the sealing, the rubber sealing, was a little bit stuck on the cylinder head. There was absolutely no leak right in here, which used to be. So let's remove these rockers and clamping parts of the injectors. Well, everything is unscrewed now. The clamping parts of the injectors are out, and remember that there is a proper order for releasing and for tightening of each screw on this rocker shaft. So find yourself a proper Volkswagen service manual and hold it. Basically, if you haven't access for it, basically is to first remove these on the edges and jump from here to here, from here to here, from here, here, back here, and so forth. Do it evenly. Each release turn should be around 180 degrees in the beginning, and in moment when the shaft or the holder is released and you can feel it's free, you can unscrew it. Don't swap the bolts. Put it just like it was on the engine. And now let's look how to remove the injectors easily without tools. This engine has 100,000 kilometers, so it's about 70,000 miles, and I think that injectors will absolutely not be covered with the carbon deposits or something. So the basic principle is to first to turn the injectors from side to side. You can hold this magnet and try to do it by hand, and together with this motion, this pendulum-like motion or turning back and forth, you should pull the injector out. It is a little bit hard from the beginning, but goes better when the diesel fuel, which is located in channels underneath this, drilled from the side. The diesel fuel will lubricate the sealing rings, and it will go better. I strongly recommend, if the engine was imbalanced, when this injector this injector gave more diesel and both 2Ds gave less, I recommend to rotate it. In case of 3-cylinder, I recommend this injector place here and rotate it about 1 turn clockwise. So this will go here, this will go here, and this will go here. After that, we will see if the correction values was only caused by the fuel problems, or if the third cylinder is burning the same. I will explain it to the detail later, but remember to mark it: 1 spot here, 1 point here, 2 points here, and 3 points here. Use the permanent marker, white colored. So let's try to remove it. I now must put the camera out, because yeah, you can see it's pretty easy. Don't apply too much force on it. Only with one hand. I'm a little bit shaking with it, and together pulling it out. See, it will be absolute perfect if it goes by hand. Remember that the last movement, or on the end of the pulling process, it could jump out. So prepare yourself for it and don't let the injector fly out on the ground. So as you can see, it's possible to do it with one hand. I intentionally have no protecting gloves because if I need it, I'm using it, but I can feel better the parts. And wow, if my phone will focus, I'll try to do it manually. Yes, here you can see the red O-ring is burnt from the chamber, from the burning chamber. It is because this clamping bolt clamps the injector only from the left side and nothing is here. And because of the cylinder head is made of aluminium alloy, so there is a absolutely big force or great force on this injector to compress the diesel fuel up to 2000 bars. So there is absolutely very big force on this element to press it, and as it moves and as it's doing this motion, the injector makes this motion from left to right a bit, because it's clamped only with this ribbon type clamp. The clamps are here. I forgot to show it to how it is made. It is made like this. The bolt is screwed into the cylinder head. There is the, I'm sorry, yes, there is a thread in the cylinder head. You can see it's pretty long and pretty weak. The screw used to be longer after this dismount, about 3 millimeters on its length. So absolutely recommended it is to replace them for the new original parts. This is absolutely basic, because with the second use you could crack the bolt somewhere, and there is a then there is a problem to remove it, to unscrew it, because it used to crack near the surface down there, and it's a bit problem. So remember, mark all the parts. I'm not marking it, I am putting it simply into this cover in order how it was. So you can see that I will put it somewhere here. As you can see, the compression pressure as the injector moves from right to left about 1 millimeter, maybe half of the millimeter, I don't know. You can see the worn signs right in here around these elements, these sealing rings, here and here. The coating, the original black coating of the injector is worn, and you can clearly see that it is on the opposite side of the mounting clamp. So these movements causes improper sealing in this brass, or I don't know the exact material, but this spacer is not sealing properly after 1000 kilometers or 70,000 miles, and part of the compression heat and part of the compression gases used to leak on the side of the clamp. It's visibly absolutely perfectly. It's absolutely burned through. So compression gases and air and mixture with the carbon and everything goes into this section, and this section, as you can see, is the fuel supply line for the injector. So when you not replace it just in time, these O-rings, and there is a Bosch original set of these O-rings, the carbon and other things are sucked back into the injector, and the injector used to be worn out absolutely more quickly, even more quickly, because of the gases and the compression gases includes the carbon, and it is the hardest element on the earth. And as you may think, the needle, which is perfectly and absolutely accurately placed inside this part, used to worn out quickly, and there is multiplied problems then. So as you can see, 100,000 kilometers is the best, or earliest, not earliest, last possible change. I will recommend to do it twice as much often. So here is the suction part of the injector. It is beside these rings right in here, and if I remember correctly, if I don't remember, if I telling it badly, so please comment it. And I think this is the return. I'm not absolutely sure, but also another cause of this bad sealing rings is that the fuel leaks into the engine lubrication. So it goes from here, from return pipe, straight into this area, and this solves the engine oil with the diesel fuel. So we can clearly see that it is absolutely important to replace it. Clean the injector with some solvent, specially made for it, and I will do it with each of injectors. And as you can see, this is a third cylinder injector, and you can absolutely clearly see that the sealing is totally burnt out. The pieces from this O-ring are here, and if I didn't do this operation, this cleanup, these particles will be sucked into the diesel fuel, into the injector, and will clog the injector needle, and the dosing of the fuel will be absolutely bad, causing serious big problems with this otherwise perfectly conditioned engine. So let's keep your engine in the best condition as it is possible, and doing this procedure each 50,000 kilometers or 30,000 miles. Absolutely recommend it. So I have perfectly cleaned each injector, replaced these O-rings, and also these brass parts. Don't be afraid, this is obvious, this is a new one, this is not the worn out, this is a new. And the cause of this black color is that I used to heat each this washer with the propane torch up to the red hot and let it cool down before mounting, because it has something to do with the softness of the material, and it will be sealing even better than before, than without this operation. So don't be afraid that this is problem, this is absolutely recommended to do. So all these operations needs to be done in absolutely surgically clean conditions, because there is a plunger of the injector which seals the diesel fuel under extremely great pressures, and this is not the good idea to do it in the snow, but I have no choice, no other choice how to do it. So before mounting there is one more important thing, and it is to remove, it is obviously needed to clean all the surfaces here with the white paper, with the cleaning paper. Kitchen towels is perfect for this purpose. Absolutely clean and smooth must be these surfaces and its counterpart on this shaft, because there is a lubricating oil ducts here, and if there is a even smallest particle pressed, there will be a leak. There is no sealing, no other sealing than the metal to metal contact, aluminium to the steel contact. So first clean these things, and immediately before the placing of each injector in its hole, also removed the remains of the diesel fuel mixed with the engine oil, just because it flows, the remaining diesel from the tandem pump flows directly freely into the cylinders. It is a little bit problem, because it goes through the cylinder, from the piston rings, around the piston rings, into the oil sump, and dissolves a little bit engine oil. So also it's recommended after this operation to change the engine oil after a few miles or few tens of miles, for few dozens of miles. So let's clean it properly and let's mount it. I will not film it because I need both hands with in this process, and I'm sorry for it. Maybe I will purchase the better camera. I'm using only my smartphone for these purposes. So this is maybe everything. Also, it's good to check the lobes. You can see that there is a little bit worn lobe. There is a sharp edge. I will try to clean it. One moment, please. Yes, you can see that there is some signs of the worn out maybe in the past time there was not applied good engine oil with the thick enough layer, lubricating layer. This is very strange for me that maybe in the past time there was no lubrication. There is also a little bit problem with these caps in this hole. Sometimes it simply pops out and there is no oil pressure to lubricate the rocking arms, so, and the cams also. So this is maybe on the edge of the worn. I will check also other ones. This is good. This is from factory under an angle and clean. Find some loop here. Here it is also okay. So maybe it's a problem of only of this cam. You can clearly see that there is a sharp edge and some pitting or some signs of the worn, maybe dry running. Let's take a look on the cam lifter, hydraulic cam lifter. If this is not it is not worn out, so this is need to clean first. I will try to take a light. I'm a little bit worried about this, because otherwise the engine looks absolutely perfectly. These cams are perfect. This is problematic a little bit. I recommend to use the thicker oil with the higher viscosity index, even when the Volkswagen recommends to use 0W30 grade oil. I think that it is not absolutely cutting edge thing, and when you have this worn on the lobe, I will use the more thicker oil or more oil with a bigger viscosity, greater viscosity. I'm surprised about this because it is not a common problem. So maybe I will change the oil. I will use maybe 5W50 viscosity oil for the thicker layer. Check the hydraulic lifter if it is not worn totally. I think that no. Evenly we will need to replace the cam on this engine. I'm absolutely not sure why this is, that there is no problem on other lobes or cams. So I will think for a while about it, and for the camera it seems to be a little bit worse than it appears on the eye. I think there is enough material remaining for proper operation with the best oil we can get. Interestingly, it is first cylinder, it is not third one, which was appeared worse, but it was obviously because that burnt O-ring and fuel leakage. I am sorry for that focus. Other cylinders seems to be good, but this first is a problem. I'll take a look on these blinders, or if it's not missing in here. I am now focusing on the screen with my nose, so try not to smile to me. Actually, it is here, which is a little bit strange for me. I'm worried about it. It's the first case of this. Even when I repaired the dozens of engines, these engines, and everything was okay. So let's mount it back. Try to perform the test drive. Remove the old oil and try to use the maybe Valvoline VR1 lubricant, which is much thicker, and try to save this cam. And after maybe 5 or 10,000 kilometers or 7,000 miles, I will look on it and see. We will see if it is getting worse or not. I'm confused a little bit. I'm sorry. You can probably see that the cam lifter is also a little bit worn, but don't think that it's immediately needs to be changed, replaced with new one. I think that this is the cause of the diesel in engine oil, because if you think about it, the main lubrication channel, here is oil filter, the main channel goes right up here, and this is the most distant place from the oil pump, and all the oil pressure loses on its way. So mixed with the diesel fuel, it caused this. So let's try to use best performance engine oil which I have, and after a few thousand kilometers check it and probably change the camshaft and this lifter. I'm very confused about this because it is absolutely perfect car otherwise. Perfect condition, brand new. Well, seems to it's starting to snow and I will now must do it quickly back. So briefly, before the placing injector onto its place, strongly recommend to very smoothly use the grease on these O-rings and apply it into the hole also to prevent to cut or shear of rings when mounting. Well, I must put it together quickly because there is snowing correctly and darkness comes in, and you can find the procedure of mounting and setting or adjusting of the injector cleaner, of the injector clearance or injector play on the YouTube. There is many other guys who will explain it perfectly, so I didn't do it because it's bad weather in here. So now I will try to start the car. It will take some time because there is only the mechanical tandem pump, and I must fulfill all the channels in the cylinder head and all the injectors, all these spaces with the diesel fuel, and so the starting process will be a bit longer, but doesn't matter. So let's try it. No tools remains here. So I had engaged the fifth gear because I was rotating or turning with the right front wheel to take the engine in the correct position for adjusting of the injectors. And now we will start the car for a while. It will take some time because there is a lot space filled with the air, so we must first remove all the air from the cylinder head. Wow, it's catching. Well, there is a white smoke, as you can see in the review mirror, but this is normal because some small amount of the diesel fuel leaked into the cylinders and simply made this. After a while it will be absolutely clean. Maybe you can feel that the engine is running smoothly, even though there is still remaining too much of the air in the cylinder head channels and so forth. So let's let it run for a small amount of time, maybe for a few minutes, to fulfill the cylinder head. Let's try to start the heating and let's check first take the short test drive, how the car behaves, and then after the heat up process, because there is around 0 degrees Celsius, after the heat up, let's check the correction values for each injector. I'm so sorry for my English. I didn't spoke English for a few years, and it's a little bit problem for me, but I hope that I will learn it back. So what do you think? Let's comment, let's put the thumbs up, let's hit the subscribe button if you like this video. If you dislike this video, let's hit this button, and simply don't watch my videos. This space mainly for my neighbors and some people in our small village in the middle of the Czech Republic. So you can clearly see that it is absolutely possible to DIY, do it yourself, to remove the injectors. It's very easy. To clean injectors is very easy. To re-sealing is very easy, and the reverse process, or putting back of the injectors and setting them to the proper clearance, is an easy job. Find some videos. There are a couple of guys which are perfect or better conditions than me. We just maybe they own workshop or garage, so they will explain it to you in the easy way. Everybody who had the basic tools can do this. Absolutely not a problem. Don't be afraid to do it yourself, because some garages, some of the technicians in the mainly in the Czech Republic or in the Eastern Europe are not correct when dealing with you. They can lie to you, they can virtually changing the parts which is absolutely not needed to change. They can tell you that the injector was bad and so forth, and I don't want to talk about this time because I'm a little bit confused with this first cylinder exhaust valve cam lobe worn because of the fuel leak into the oil, and after the heat up and check of the check of the correction values with the backcom or any diagnostic software. We can see after this I must change the motor oil, even though it was maybe a few thousand kilometers after that, but it is mixed with the diesel fuel, and it is absolutely unlimitedly bad for this engine. It will cause multiplying of the problems with the engine. I'm sorry for shaking with the mobile. I'm just driving back and forth to only I don't know why. So engine is definitely running smoothly. Maybe the air is removed from the cylinder head just now, so I will try to restart the engine. Wait for a moment. As you can see, the start is perfect, so sealing is good. The definite we will know definitely that starts are good tomorrow in the morning if the diesel fuel will not leak into the through the cylinder space and into the through the piston rings, around the piston rings into the oil sump. We will be absolutely sure that the sealing of the injector and their settings is good. We will also see it in the values on the diagnostic software. So maybe it is for this time, because it comes dark here. It's still a little bit late. 17. It's yes, it's Greenwich time plus 1 hour. So it's winter now, and I feel very cold with these hands. So if you like my videos, please subscribe, hit the like button, and do the other things, whatever you want to do. Let's comment my videos. Let's try to correct my possible faults in my work. And I want to tell you that I'm not basically the car mechanic. I am the electronics engineer, power electronics engineer. So I like the cars, and I'm now doing this as my job. It will need to take a thicker oil, better oil with better shear stability and with the higher viscosity to maintain, to prevent future warning of the cam. Otherwise, after 5,000 kilometers, I will open the cover and check all the cam lobes and once more change the oil, and maybe I will change that camshaft bit, but it's not good because the car is maybe the best one in the Middle Europe, in the Central Europe or Eastern Europe. It has this correct mileage, is well maintained from Italy. There are some stickers which marks the maintenance. There are some original stickers. The distribution belt is changed. Engine oil, all of the filters were changed. So it's pretty bad that diesel fuel leaked into the oil. So it's a little bit long aftermath, but I will try not to bore you. Try not to be boring. I'm speaking about 5 minutes about nothing maybe. So let's show my videos, show my other videos, especially dedicated with the 3-liter car, means the 3-liter fuel consumption. Volkswagen Lupo 3L TDI-PD with the robotized gearbox, and also dedicated to the Audi A2, Audi aluminum car made from aluminum, fitted with the same engine as this Lupo, and with a mixed cycle fuel consumption of 2.9 liters per 100 kilometers. It's maybe around 100 miles per gallon in the imperial units. I'm not absolutely sure about metric versus imperial. I have some basic idea, but I'm not sure about exact numbers. So the Lupo 3L is an official Volkswagen made car, very limited edition. It only looks like Lupo. Its body is absolutely different, and I will try to make a short test of this car, of this concrete car, because I didn't see the car this nice, this currently original state, and clean and without rust from the Italy, where is good weather with the beautiful silver color which is not burned from the sun. There is a climate control which is rare for the 3L cars. This car originally was not equipped with the power steering. There was no power steering, there was no climate control, no central locking, even no radio was here from the factory for the weight purposes. So I will let these details for you for the next video. I will try to make it in good weather so you can see the details of this car, and it is very interesting, even though it's 3-cylinder and maybe the gearbox is unreliable for somebody, but I can repair it to be absolutely reliable, and so forth. So now I will go to make my lunch and enjoy this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.